Hello students, in this audio session we will discuss about the disposal of primary and secondary sludge. You are aware about this flow diagram which is representing the treatment of the sewage. So you can see the red color arrows in the horizontal direction are directly representing the how a effluent is passing through the different treatment units, and after the successful treatment it can be discharged into the surface water bodies or it can be utilized for any other purpose. So in this process here two different sedimentation tanks are used. One is before the aeration tank and another one is after the aeration tank or trickling filter. So the sedimentation tank which is used before the aeration tank is called primary sedimentation tank, and which is used after the aeration process or ASP process, so it is called final sedimentation tank or secondary sedimentation tank. So as you know, the role of sedimentation tank is to separate the sludge by the sedimentation process or because of the gravity. So after that here the sludge is collected out from both tanks, primary as well as from the secondary, and before the disposal of this sludge further we need to give treatment. We need to treat this sludge into the stable form, or we need to convert it into the less harmful content. Disposal of primary and secondary sludge. Disposal of sludge and its moisture content. The sludge which is deposited in a primary sedimentation tank is called raw sludge, and which is odorous and very objectionable. And the sludge which is deposited in a secondary clarifier or secondary sedimentation tank is called secondary sludge, and which is odorous and less objectionable. Here the main problem with the sludge is its moisture content. So we have to deal or we have to remove the moisture before the disposal, because if the sludge containing high moisture content, it becomes very bulky and difficult to handle. So here some data are given. You can see the moisture content of the raw sludge is around 95%. If it is not provided in the numerical problems, so then you can assume in this range. Also the moisture content of the secondary sludge. So please don't be confused between raw sludge and secondary sludge. Raw sludge is which is coming from the primary sedimentation tank, and the secondary sludge is which is coming from the secondary sedimentation tank. But in the secondary sludge there are two cases. If it is treated by the trickling filter, so the moisture content range is 96 to 98%, and if it is treated with the activated sludge process, so moisture content range is 98 to 99%. And you should also know so what is the meaning of the moisture content or percentage. So for example, if 95% moisture content is present in the sludge, so it means that it contains, if we are talking about in terms of liter, so it means that the 100 liters of the wet sludge is there, in which 5 liters of the dry solid sludge is there, and 95 liter water is there in the wet sludge. So 5 liter of solid sludge plus 95 liter of the water will make 100 liters of the wet sludge. Sludge digestion process or stabilization process. The sludge withdrawn from the sedimentation basin contains a lot of organic matter, and if it is disposed without any treatment, the organic matter may dispose and produces the gases, lot of pollution and the health hazards. So in order to avoid such pollutions, the sludge is first of all stabilized by the decomposing the organic matter under controlled anaerobic conditions and then disposed of suitably after drying on the drying beds. The process of stabilization is called sludge digestion process, and the tank where the process is carried out is called the sludge digestion tank. So in this process basically what we are doing, we are converting unstable organic matter into the stable form by the controlled anaerobic conditions, anaerobic digestion process, And in a sludge digestion process, the sludge gets broken into the following three forms. First is a digested sludge, second is a supernatant liquor, and third one is the gases of the decomposition. So let us discuss the first form, which is the digested sludge. So it is the stable form of the sludge, and which contains basically not sludge, we can say the solid. So it is the stable form of the solid, and it is black in color, and it is having the reduced moisture content as well as reduced volume compared to the undigested sludge. So volume is around one third times of the undigested sludge volume. Moreover, the quality of the digested sludge is much better than that of the undigested sludge, and which is free from the pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria means which are harmful bacteria, because pathogenic bacteria are killed in the digestion process. It, however, it may contain cyst, eggs of the bacteria, protozoa, and worm. So second is supernatant liquor. It includes the liquefied and finally divided solid matters and is having a very high BOD, around 3000 ppm. Third is gases of decomposition. So in this gases of decomposition, it is the mixture of different gases which are evolved during the digestion process. So like methane, CO2, and traces of the other inert gases like nitrogen, hydrogen sulfide, etc. So the proportion of methane is very much high, which is 65 to 70%, and CO2 is around 30%. So methane gas is collected, which is having a very high calorific value, and it is used as a fuel. So the sludge gas contains, we can assume it is around 70% of the methane, and the fuel value is around 5800 kilocalories per meter cube. The digested sludge is dewatered, dried up, and then used as a fertilizer, while the gases are further used as a fuel. This is the typical layout of the sludge digester. You can see here the circular tank is there, which is having a hopper shaped bottom, and it is also equipped or fixed with the roof. It may be fixed or it may be floated in the nature. So when the tank which is put in the operation first time, so it is required to seed with the digested sludge from the another tank. Also, the raw sludge is first of all pumped into the tank. Now let us discuss how different stages are there during the sludge digestion process. So basically three different stages have been found during the decomposition of the unstable sludge into the stable form. So first is acid fermentation, second is acid regression, and third is alkaline fermentation. So in first stage, which is acid fermentation stage or acid production stage, so in this first stage of the sludge digestion, the fresh sewage sludge begin to act upon the anaerobic and facultative bacteria and called acid formers. These organisms solubilize the organic solids through the hydrolysis, and gases like methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfides are also evolved. Second is acid regression stage. In this intermediate stage, the volatile organic acid and nitrogenous compounds of the first stage are attacked by the bacteria so as to form acid carbonates and ammonia compounds. Third is the alkaline fermentation stage. So this is the final stage of the sludge digestion, and more resistance material like protein and organic acids are attacked and broken up by the anaerobic bacteria called the methane formers. The organic material and the digested sludge is formed. So here it produces the gases also, and it is the pH is around near to 7 or 7.5. Disposal of digested sludge. The digested sludge from the digestion tank contains a lot of water and is therefore first of all dewatered or dried up before further disposal, either by burning or dumping. In India, the water of sludge is removed by drying the sludge on the drying beds, whereas in the western countries, the dewatering is done by the vacuum filters or by using high-speed centrifuge. So, in India, the drying beds which are used for the drying of the sludge, it is nothing but these are the open beds of the land which are called sludge drying beds, and it is suitable for the hot countries like India. Disposal of dewatered sludge. There are different methods for the disposal of the dewatered sludge. First is disposal by the dumping into the sea. The dewatered wet sludge may sometimes be discharged at sea from hoppers. This method can however be adopted only in case of cities situated on seashore and where the direction of normal winds are such as to take the discharged sludge into the sea or away from the shoreline. Second is disposal by burial into the trenches. In this method, the digested sludge without dewatering is charged into the trench. When the sludge has dried, it is covered at the top with a thin layer of the soil. And third is disposal by the incineration. The dewatered wet sludge produced in wastewater treatment plants may also be disposed of by burning in suitably designed incinerator, where sufficient space is not available for the burial near the plant site, or sludge cannot be dried and used as manure. Thank you.